Hey my loves, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. So in today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys 5 reasons why your type 4 hair may not be growing. Bear in mind, I am not a doctor, I am not a hair specialist, I am not a hair guru. So you can take the information that I'll be giving in today's video with a grain of salt. I am simply sharing my experience based on things that I've noticed that kept me in a hair plateau. And I want to add that there are other reasons why your type 4 hair may not be growing. These are not the only reasons. These are just 5 of those reasons. So if you're interested to know why your type 4 hair may not be growing past your shoulder, then stick around for the rest of the video. Now with that being said, let us head right into today's video. Now the first reason I have is that you're changing your hairstyle too often. Now, as a natural on a hair growth journey, you all know that having a protective style that you rely on is very important. It is important to limit the amount of time you spend in your hair because this will reduce things like breakage and damage that you might get because you're either changing your hairstyle too often, and the type of hairstyles you're doing, they are not low manipulative styles. So, you're probably doing a lot of puffs, a lot of things that are causing a lot of strain on your hair. And this is one reason why your type 4 hair may not be growing and one reason why you might be in a hair plateau. So I would advise anyone trying to grow their hair to reduce the amount of time you spend in your hair, thus reduce the amount of time that you change your hairstyle. I would also recommend having a protective style that you rely on because this will help you to grow and retain length, and this would also help you to reduce the amount of time that you spend in your hair and reduce the amount of time that you would need to change your hairstyle. Reason number 2 is that you don't do your own hair. I know a lot of persons are going to be like, but I can't comb my own hair. Listen, if you want to grow your own hair, you need to take the time out to know your hair. Everyone's hair is different. While we all have type 4 hair, the needs for my hair might be different than your hair. And trust and believe that a hairstylist or going to a salon, the person working there is not going to be as delicate and gentle and loving with your hair as you would. So knowing how to do your own hair or taking the time out to learn your hair, it is very important because I noticed the most growth in my hair when I started to do my own hair. So I would highly recommend taking the time out to learn your own hair, or just learning how to do a few styles and really taking that time out to give your hair that extra love and attention that it needs. Now, the third reason is that you're brushing or combing your hair too often. Now, there are 3 methods of detangling that I am familiar with. You have comb, brush, and finger. Now, if you're looking to grow your hair, I would highly recommend trying out finger detangling. When I just started my hair growth journey, or when I started to become more intentional with my hair, the first method of detangling that I used was finger detangling. And I did not have as much shedding and breakage as I have now. Because when you do finger detangling, you really take the time out to be gentle with your hair and you don't just yank out the knots that are in your hair. You have the time where you could go in with your fingers and pull out the knots, versus if you're using a comb or a brush and you just yank everything out. So finger detangling is great. Sometimes we need to put down the comb and the brush and use our fingers to detangle our hair. No, I'm not saying that you can't use a comb or a brush to detangle your hair. However, what I'm saying is that when you use finger detangling, you are a lot more gentle with your hair and it reduces the amount of pulling that you're doing in your hair. So using finger detangling sometimes and putting down the brush is a great way to help you retain some of your length. Now, the fourth reason is that you're using too much heat in your hair. Yes, from time to time, we need to blow dry our hair or to straighten our hair to do our trims. However, it is essential to limit the amount of time that you use heat in your hair. And it is very simple. The end of our hair tend to be a little drier or a lot more brittle than the rest of our hair. So using heat too often will actually damage the end of our hair if we're not careful. And even sometimes when we use heat protectant, we still end up with damage on the end of our hair. And while hair grows from our scalp, if the ends of your hair is not healthy, then you will constantly having breakage. So while you're getting new growth, the ends of your hair is breaking. So you always realize that your hair does not grow past your shoulder and that you're in a hair plateau. So limiting the amount of time that you spend using heat in your hair is essential, and it is one of the reasons why you may not be growing your hair, because you're using excessive heat constantly in your hair. Now we're down to the last reason, which is that you're not trimming your damaged ends, or you're trimming your hair too often. Now, while your hair grows from your scalp, because for some strange reason, this is a conversation that is going back and forth. Yes, your hair grows from your scalp, but you also need to trim your ends. And the simple reason is that we oftentimes have damaged ends. Our ends tend to be a lot drier or a little bit more brittle and delicate than the rest of our hair. So you need to trim off those damaged end in order for your hair to grow. Your hair grows from your scalp, but if you're not trimming off the damaged ends, then you will end up in a plateau. And that is one reason why your hair may not be growing even though it is growing. Also, I want to add that you may be trimming your ends too often. No, you do not need to be on a schedule. You just need to trim your ends whenever they are damaged or whenever they appear to be damaged. And you do not have to do a full trim. You could do dusting. So trimming your hair too often might be a reason why your hair may not be growing or appear to not be growing, because you're cutting off all the healthy and new growth that you're getting. So with trimming, you really have to be careful. You do not necessarily have to have a schedule. I personally trim my ends 1 to 2 times for the year, simply because I wear a lot of protective styling. But you may need to trim your ends 2 to 4 times for the year, depending. So it is very different for everybody, but not trimming your damaged ends and trimming your hair too often may be a reason why your type 4 hair is not growing. So that's pretty much the end of the video. If you guys found this video useful, or if you like this video, leave a like on the video, leave a comment. If you're new, subscribe and join the family. So until next time, bye my love.